A little bit of extra resources as well.
That Lilu was looking for, but now looking here over on the side of Ji Haning. It's that LeBlanc with the Rage Blade, 3 Arbiter, 5 Shepherd on this board.
Yep, and 60 second. Still has lots to work with, but it looks like he's going to be taking some losses and is going to be playing towards the fast 9 there with the birthday present.
Oh yeah, Morgana 2, right, for Ji Haning. Morgana 2 is a fantastic frontliner, especially for this point in the game. You throw a few items on her, she'll just keep on healing up, give that durability to the team as we get our final augment choice in here. And ooh, the divine items here. Soraka's Miracle is a fantastic item. I love that one a lot, personally.
Yeah, especially has access to the backline items already crafted, so could look for one more at the front line there.
Soraka's Miracle.
This is a very, very nice LeBlanc board, but sitting on LeBlanc pair, that's going to be the final unit to hit. If you don't hit that, board's going to be a lot weaker. 60 seconds, made it to level 9 on 4-2.
That is crazy, right? But we talk about the economy of the players like 60 Second, who is sacrificing HP in the early game, just game in general with that 2 XP reduction on leveling up. We're going to be able to level quicker. Isn't hitting too much great there, it looks like, though.
No, he's only 23 HP, so he needs to win this round. I think he even left Primordial in because he couldn't really find the rest of the upgrades. So if he takes one more loss here in Stage 4, then he's going to be heading into Stage 5 with definitely 1 life, which is very, very dangerous, especially when some of the other players, he's going to eventually have to versus his teammate, and they can't sack forever.
LeBlanc 2 on the other side there for Ahau. There is a Ribbon who gets into the back line, but she does get taken out, right? Not that many items on her, but still, that Nami was enough. But that's okay. Ahau was like, hey, I can take a couple losses. I've won every single round almost in this game until now.
And 60 Second did manage to win that, and I think I actually saw there was Misfortune was holding onto those items. Now, when you go Fast 9, Misfortune is not really the unit that you'd be expecting to be the primary carry.
Nope, not excited for that one.
No, definitely not, but we can use it to stabilize, hold on to a 2-star 3 cost, and then hopefully eventually start to pick up more of those upgrades. You really cannot afford to lose any rounds, so we can't gamble on a 1-star 5 cost here.
Oh, and gonna be gambling on a Zoe 2 here for Tiny Giants to be a good enough carry to get through Stage 4. I'm not so convinced of that personally, but a lot of these AP carry 4 costs already out of the pool, right? And ooh, wait a minute, Jin 2 out of nowhere for 60 seconds.
You can see does have the Vex on the board. Those items, you know, might be a bit better on her. However, this is going to have to do. Yeah, it's going to have to do for now. Does have a decent board set up there. The Graves 2 as well, just no items. So
Shen 2?
Yeah, the Shen 2, decent. I rolled some pretty nice TG items there for the Shen, so I decided not to move it over towards the Graves. And the board is definitely going to be stable for now.
Gonna win.
Yeah,
win
some rounds. Good.
60 second though, right bottom in the standings in HP, but it's going to be at least nearing the middle by the time we get to the end of Stage 4. Ahau again is taking a loss there, but has a lot of HP to work with as that Soraka's Miracle. Morgana is so hard to take out. It's going to be trying her best, but it is going to be around loss for Ji Haning there. A Tiny Giant stabilizes, right? That Zoe too. It's good enough.
The Morgana just doesn't want to die, but once you get to the end of the round, the ramping up damage there, she will eventually get taken down.
The 5-cost shop for these Fast 9 players.
Yeah, it could be very, very beneficial, especially the ones who haven't hit. We already saw that 60 second. Other than the Vex was pretty much online. Had the Shen 2, already had the Jin 2 as a temporary holder, as well as the Graves 2. Don't really need too much more than that. So we did see that some of the other players were willing to go with that Thresh gamble. They were willing to take whatever they want because they wanted the extra resources, and they're probably just going to stick with that. You can see more onto Tiny Giant's board, who is making use of that 2 cost. We mentioned this in the pre-show, just how the two costs can carry you quite far.
Absolutely. Tiny Giant going to be doing exactly that. Gets those Sonic mods as well in there. 60 second, look at the board again. Blitzcrank in the shop, but this is pretty much what the board's going to look like there. Really needs to upgrade that Vex, obviously upgrade that Tom Kench as well. But oh, this is 5 losses in a row here for Siluk.
Yeah, so it was all eyes before on Samdu, who was in a really poor position, but then he bounced back after hitting that Nami 2. Meanwhile, Siluk, unfortunately, has never really been able to convert this Cho'Gath 3 into a a nice board. Cho'Gath needs to be winning early, winning hard, start to scale up, but we know that this one-cost strategy that these guys like to employ doesn't work as well in the current meta than as opposed to what they were previously using in the qualifiers.
Yeah, and just to elaborate what you're talking about there, the stacking, scaling up from Cho'Gath is going to be able to get max HP in the early game, right? Which is going to be super beneficial if you win those rounds, if Cho'Gath gets those takedowns, but it just did not come through for Silic here. So unless a miracle happens, right? Maybe not a Soraga's miracle, but if some miracle happens, Silic's going to be going out native.
Yeah, and just the items, just a little bit awkward. We did have the Gargoyles online early, which makes sense because Cho'Gath's going to be your primary frontline, but then he's not getting as many casts off. You look at the backline there, does have the amplifiers. You've got the crit there with the JG, you've got the Giant Slayer, but not having something like a Nash's Tooth, a Shojin, a Blue Buff, you're not going to be casting as frequently.
No, it's going to be Cho'Gath, right? Not having as much scaling as you need to buy Lissandra the time that she does now need because you have a lack of items, exactly what you're saying. That's a scary board there for Aha with the Blanc 2 and Karma 2. It's really a battle of the front lines. Which one is able to hold on longer? And Cho'Gath has taken so much damage.
Yeah, and Cho'Gath does have access to the D-Core, but there you can see the Void stuff in the backline is going to be shredding it very, very quickly. And there's going to be no mercy from the side of Aha's Aurora Gaming. So you're going to be taking out everyone, and that is Silic down.
Silic down, Nongshim Red Force take 8th place. We do see a lot of their players, though, towards the top of the standings, at least right now, in HP.
Yep.
But going out in 8th, going to be a tough start.
A lot of extra HP as 60 Second is going to be taking a loss there. So 21 and 18 HP, technically 2 lives. If you play it right, going into stage 5, if they're versing one another, they can change up their board just a little bit to make sure that they're not dealing a lethal blow.
Yeah, and this actually could make a big difference. The players who have very little gold that need to reroll for specific items here, they might just not have enough gold to roll for what they want and have to just go with the subpar option here.
Yeah, definitely. Every single little bit of last gold matters because everything's accelerated. You need to be able to use your extra resources to sacrifice for your teammates, as we do see that 60 Seconds managed to get the Kench 2 online.
And Vex 2.
Exactly. Despite the fact that all these 5-cost upgrades were important, making sure you have a primary tank, it somehow, in most sets, actually ends up being a 4-cost.
Right, yeah, exactly. And it's going to be losing last round as well. I don't know exactly when you got all these upgrades online, but this is 5 separate 5-costs that are tier 2'd. On paper, this board should be fantastic, right? We get a lot of synergies here. Most of it is just the unique synergies.
Yeah, and it's the perfect combination because the only low-cost units that you need to hold on to, we saw there was the Akali and the Aatrox.
Yep.
They don't need to be 2-star. They're just there on towards the side because their trait is so good. However, it's really about hitting those 5 costs. And as we start to move on, if you can make it all the way to getting extra resources, extra items is what you need. Because having no items on those 2-star 5 costs means that they're not going to be performing as well.
Right, they just don't do much at all. But what's doing a lot here is Sam D's board into G Hunting, who is stuck on LeBlanc 1. The Sona and Morgana tried to do a ton of heavy lifting, and it was like kind of close there at the end. Maybe it's just that LeBlanc 2 difference.
Yeah, that LeBlanc 2 difference for sure. When you have multiple players across different teams fighting for that same LeBlanc unit, once one team hits that, the other player's going to be stuck on a pair, and everyone on the opposing team is just going to start holding on to it. Once a player gets a 2-star 4-cost, the rest of the team can just start griefing themselves because it's not going to do anything against them, and that's really, really crucial.
Oh, absolutely. We see a couple of items on the bench here for Lilu, maybe facing a teammate in the next round. Maybe we'll swap in this Aurelian Soul, put the items on there. But taking a look at this Morgana, right? The little subpar items with the Sterix in there. But hey, I mean, it gives you a little bit of a shield, so it's something.
Does have access to shredding there at the front and has the Shojin. Not as nice as the synergy as the Nash. The crit there is going to be going up against his own teammate. I think potentially might just be sacking here, recognizing that given that the way that the games are going up against, he's going to have to go out in 7th, and 60 Seconds in a great spot to try and win this game. So that's okay. You've already had someone on Nanjing go out in 8th. If Lulu takes a clean 7th here, that's perfectly fine. The game plan's still in play.
Absolutely, right? Sometimes you got to take that sacrifice for your teammates. That's what this 4v4 format is all about. Recognizing those situations, players are going to have practiced this kind of strategies, making these tough decisions a lot already, as we get to the point where a lot of players are going to start to fall very rapidly.
Yeah, are going to be getting knocked out. So we see a look at Tiny Giant, who is going to be holding on for dear life. Again, I guess we see another unit who doesn't have that extra mana gen there on towards the Karma. Will be getting a little bit of base mana gen, but won't be casting as frequently. Does have access to the Void, this seems nice. So it's a nice board for 5-3, but we've seen a lot stronger so far.
Yeah, I'm looking at this, like, there's a lack of damage here, definitely. Like you're talking about the lack of mana generation. There's a Sona with just a Challenger emblem and a Void Staff there. It's going to be hard pressed to win this fight against Jihanning there, who has found the LeBlanc 2 at this point.
Yeah, and this is a similar situation, just the reverse. Instead of Aurora, it's going to be nudging, where you're going up against your own teammates, and you kind of have to recognize, you know, one of us is not going to be stronger. But it doesn't look like there's been any intentional sacrifice. I think they've just kind of looked at the situation and gone, who's stronger? Who's actually going to have a better chance at making it through?
This is going to be a win here, it looks like. Yes, the Karma able to hold out against Jihanning.
Very, very scary, because there was no removers used there, despite the fact that 4 were available. So that could have been a lethal play when it didn't need to be.
Absolutely, but now 11 HP for Tiny Giant, still alive. Jihanning 4 HP, still alive. If they can both now win their next fights, we could see Nongshim Red Force be put in a pretty solidified winning position, however, but there's still that big raid boss of Ahau at the top.
It's an uphill battle. The raid boss there, Ahau, up at the battle for sure. He has 59 HP. That's a lot to work with here, and 60 seconds in a position that looks like he can win out. So it's really going to be up to Hwanmei if his teammate can give him extra lives.
Yep, absolutely. Because of how the format works, right? If Aurora Gaming go 1-2, they have won the lobby, right? So let's see here. We have Hwanmei on the right side.
We've got Ahau. It looks like we're going to have the LeBlanc board that showed dominance before. It's LeBlanc v LeBlanc on the right there.
Yeah. Oh, it's
LeBlanc
actually,
walks up.
They're both boards. Wow, LeBlanc walks up and gets taken out. Oh, this is actually really, really close. Blitzcrank gonna be alive there at the end, finishing out the fight. A couple eliminations.
Yep, looks like that is going to be Hwanmei going out as well. We do have 2 players in the top 2, so technically they can still hold on. It's looking dire there for the Nanxing, as they've already had someone go out in 8th, so 8th and 6th. So they're going to have to clutch it up here, and it's looking tough with 60 seconds on a 4-win streak.
Absolutely, it is. Ahau on a 3-win streak, right? Sam D on a 2-loss streak, found that early Nami, but now has found some really good items for, I mean, not really good items, but some items to put on the Blitzcrank. They're going to be doing a lot of work there. Space Fury on the Morgana. She's going to be very, very strong. Can Sam D hold on this round?
I don't even know if they have enough HP, because they're both sitting there on 1 life at 11 HP. So Sam D here with the Nami is going to be stunned for quite some time. He's going to be going up against the LeBlanc, and LeBlanc's not touched. There's plenty of HP to work with. Looks like it's going to be one more cast that comes out, and Sam D
Not enough there in that fight. Will be going out. Just briefly dodges the damage by scaling another void. Nongshim out again here in 3rd, or 4th, sorry, for Sam D.
Yep, and that should be it for Aurora. It's managed to clutch out with potentially, well, it does have 2 top 3 finishes, and guaranteeing that they didn't have the 8th will be enough to close it out. Great play across the board.
Absolutely, Aurora Gaming